Good morning, my valued viewers. Enough preamble, onto the sales. First sale of the week from the Sunday morning was Metro Redux for the PS4, $9.49. 2 times Agatha Raisin audiobooks on CD, 6 CDs in each book. One was sealed. $12.15 delivered. Sony CyberShot DSC P200 7.2 megapixel camera, $59.19 delivered. Lots of PS3 games multi-listing game, which was a copy of Need for Speed Pro Street for the PS3, and that was $5.89 delivered. Spyro the Dragon, Sony PlayStation 1, in a nice case except for the hinge. One pin of the hinge was broken. $15.49, $15.45 delivered. Oh, by the way, if you're new here, I'm Pete. If you're not new here, you're welcome back. This is where I'm showing what I sold last week before I show you what I bought to sell this week or in future episodes. Hopefully, as soon as I've listed it. You never know, you know. It's all mostly, well, this is all eBay sales. I don't really show the other ones. They're lesser. They're part of my income, but they're not eBay. Right, next was a Sony DVP SR760H upscaling 1080p USB stick playing DVD player. It's a nice player, but unfortunately they're just too reliable. There's loads of them about. $16.19 plus postage, £20.39. I had thought I might have to reduce that to £15, but it's sold at $16.19. I was happy with that. I've got 2 more. Window Wizard magnetic glass cleaner. It's sort of, you clean both sides of the window at once. Magnetic through the glass. $17.15 delivered. A 4-pack of PS3 Call of Duty games. Call of Duty World at War, Ghosts, Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 2. They all had manuals. They're all in nice cases. £12, $15.50 delivered. Next was Humax Freeview Recorder, PVR 9300T. Nice machine. $49.99 plus postage, $56.94. And then there was a JAJ Pyrex Serving Dish. £6.74 sold it for. Cost me about £2, so not really worth bothering. £11.67 to me. And then the buyer paid £25 more. And they did send me a message saying, please pack it up super tight. It's going to Texas. They'd cut me down, knocked me down from $9.99 in order to be able to pay nearly £30 extra in postage. And then they expect me to wrap it really well. Of course I wrapped it well. I always wrap my stuff well. If it had been a local delivery, I'd have wrapped it well. Anyway, yeah, I get it. But when you're paying £30 odd postage and £11 to eBay and something like £2.45 in sales tax, knocking me down all my profit margin is a bit unfair. Next, a Sony AC-L10A adapter for a camcorder. That was an easy one. $16.75 delivered. Then there was Hitman Absolution. It was a video game, but it came with a book. It was a professional edition. It came in a box with a book. So I got £10.65 for it. Much more than Hitman Absolution for the PS3's worth. But you're buying the book. And the inks, I told you last week I like the inks. Anyway, this was the 4-pack of equivalent of the single pack that I sold the previous week. It went for £24.20 delivered. That means I got £50 back on the 2 sales. I do have 3 more individual boxes, which I might combine. I think I've done the listing for it, I'm not sure. Downfall board game I bought the week before for £1, sold for $16.99 plus postage, $21.19. Quite nice that. That was a 1985 version. Nintendo Wii Legend of Zelda, $6.99 delivered. The next one is also Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess, $7.49 delivered. So, you know, had some profit, but not a lot. If say I'd bought those in for £1 a piece, but random people know that Legend of Zelda games sell for a lot more. James Bond 007, Bloodstone, which is probably the rarest one of the Xbox 360 games for the James Bond 007, $7.49 delivered. 4 Halo books as a bundle. I think they cost me 50p each. Sold for $12.99 delivered. This one is an instant sale. It was a Bosch AL1404 that I got last week, and I sold within a day or so of listing, I think. It was listed on the 3rd, sold on the 5th. Bosch AL1404 charger for a Bosch battery. This is the one from the lady whose streamer had been stolen. Stolen, yeah. Medal of Honor game bundle for the PS2. It was 3 games. Frontline, European Assault and Rising Sun. £3.86, but don't forget these are 40 or 50p games, so I got something back for them anyway. Plus postage, £7.36. Then there was a pair of headphones I've had in stock for months and months. I was using these for testing, but I eventually decided to sell them. I actually have another pair exactly the same. RP-HT225 Panasonics. They've got over-the-ear cuffs, which I do like compared with, say, in the ear. And they were very comfortable. They only went for £8 though. they're not as popular as, say, the Sonys, even though they're a better headphone. Plus postage, $12.20. And then we're on to the last few items that I've got here in stock in front of me, which are going out today. So the first one is this Crunchy Nut bowl in really nice nick from the local charity shop, £1.45, sold for £9.80. Not too bad at all. And then 4-pack of Joanna Trollope audio tapes. They're audiobooks on 3-hour tapes, double tapes. These were from a box full. I got 30 sets for £3, so they hold me at 10p a pack. So that's 40p worth. And that was £5.99 plus postage, £9.49. And they're going out in a little box today. And the last thing of the week was Cards Against Humanity. As soon as you get them, they sell. You get some more, they sell, anything like this. These are fast sellers, the Cards Against Humanity. I bought them for £1.50 last week. They sold last week for £11. I bought them last Sunday and they sold this before this Sunday. Not bad. So the total isn't as good as the last couple of weeks, but it's still not bad. £437.48. I think one of the reasons is there was only one item over 50 quid. Yeah. So it pushed it up, but if I'd been concentrating on, instead of video games, which I mean, I'm absolutely overflowing with them, so I was going through them and listing them. Not particularly good, like I said. If it'd been AV gear I spent my time listing last week, then it may have been 150 on 3 sales. So yes, I do have to have some more half price stuff on this week, especially. What I decided to do this week is do 4 or 5 larger items every day before I go on to the easy to list, fast to list smaller items. Mainly because that way at least I'll have some larger items available for people to buy. Because when I go into my shop, the majority of it is smaller, under £20, and a lot of it, because I've been doing listing video games, is under £10 at the moment. Right, I'm not going to wrap these now because it's not too hot. I'm going to give you a 10-second interval, clear the desk and show you what I bought. So enjoy your small break.
11 minutes later.
Right, okay. I'm sure SpongeBob will have told you exactly how long it's been. You can trust him. He's an undersea sponge. So, Walkington. It's about 8 or 9 miles from my house, down country lanes. Anyway, I got to the cash point. There's only one cash point in the village now. Yeah, it's outside the Morrisons. And there used to be about 7. Or even 8, I can't remember exactly. There was 2 outside the Lloyds, which shut down, and there was one outside the NatWest, which shut down. There was one outside the Midlands, which shut down. There was 2 outside the Morrisons. There was one outside the A to Z. It was like a convenience store, but that went bust. Could have got some at the post office on Saturday, but in my infinite wisdom I already had lots of change, so I just wanted some like 10s and 20s. No money, sorry, you can't have any cash. Well, I could go 3 or 4 miles out my way, or I could go and see what I've got. Anyway, I went off with 60 odd pounds, and I thought that's going to be enough. Unless it isn't. I do have transfer apps on my phone, but a lot of people don't. So I got to Walkington. I paid me £1 to get in and park, which is very nice. Not too far away from the car boot, and it was just about 10 to 7, I think. First thing I saw to buy was this Monopoly Hull Edition. Now I've got one up for sale in the shop, Monopoly Hull Edition, and I think it cost me £5. It could have been 4. Anyway, this was 2. I did give it a quick check, and it looked like it was all there. And even if it's not, it's good for spares if it isn't. But it was all there. £2 isn't bad. They're not as popular as they used to be, special edition ones. There'll be a date somewhere. 2004. So that wasn't too bad. There's a profit margin to be had there. Let's just shove that box over there. That's the box for the little bowl. Cat Attack. Different stall, but board game, so I thought I'd slot it in here. It's all there. This is, I've never seen before, but looking it up on eBay, it's worth about 11 or 12 quid. So I thought, well, why not, you know? Board's nice. For some strange reason, it folds to the outwards. And everything's in here. It was £1. It should sell for about 11 or 12. I saw this on a stall. It was actually sat on top of some games, so I bought the lot. It's actually really dirty. Can you see the dirt there? If it's where my head used to be, you can see the dirt. Really quite manky. And dirty. Now I could take the time to clean it, but the hinge is gone. And obviously, I said to her, spares a repair, innit? And she's like, oh no, it's working fine, it's all working. And I'm like, oh, okay, all right. Okay. I said, without the hinge working though, it still spares a repair. Because it's a really bad job to repair it. Put in a new case. And obviously, I'd looked around it and it didn't look particularly working, quite honestly. I looked at the games. G-Force, it's some sort of hamster, but no manual. Henry Hatsworth puzzle game, I had no idea. Star Wars Lethal Alliance, I thought the money was in there. And Ben 10 Cosmic Destruction, which is, it's neither here nor there. But they all have manuals. And most of the DS games are basically dead reliable, indestructible, as long as the contacts are fine. So I said to her, how much did you want for them? And she's like, would you do £5? And I'm like, I said, well, it spares a repair, so how about 4? And she said, yeah, fine, 4. So I got those. The standout one, actually, I thought was this one, Star Wars Alliance, Lethal Alliance, which isn't a bad game, I think. Did check it. This one, Henry Hatsworth in the Puzzling Adventure. Never seen it before, so it's rare. It's not like I've seen every game, but I'd never even come across this before. Anyway, this is about £14. Selling for about £14. I wasn't aware of it before now. So that should be an easy return on my investment there. Next was some headphones. Somebody was actually looking at these when I got to this stall that I was looking at, and it was the only thing on the store which was vintage, and so I patiently waited to see whether he'd buy, and he eventually put them down. He didn't even inquire about the price. So I asked the lady how much those were before I even looked at them, and she said they're £2. So I took a cursory look at them, make sure that the earphones weren't all falling to bits. You know, the well, I'll take it out. Make sure the rubber here wasn't all falling to bits, and they aren't. They're pretty good. So I bought them for £2. I have tested them. Yeah, you know what's coming. They're not working. It could be the connector. It's a little jack plug to 1/6 inch jack plug adapter inside on the end. 1/6 inch is the old big jack plugs, and it's either 2.5 or 3.5 millimeter for the little ones. The plastic's not an issue, I'll tape it up if I can get the headphones working. They're not an expensive pair compared, though. They're Philips, they're not like Sony or Panasonic or one of those old vintage makes, but it is vintage. There's a possibility of making a profit on those, I think. I'm not sure how much, maybe £10–15. Next is Cards Against Humanity. Yeah, I've just sold some, so I knew that they were worth selling. She did want £3. When I say worth selling, I know I only made a 5 or so on the others, so I wasn't going to compromise on my margins. What's the point of selling something for £3 when I could have bought it, buying something for £3 when I could have bought it for £1.50 off the next store? So I said to her, would you take 2 instead? And she said she would. So I paid 2 for that, which is more than the other set, but you know, still a margin for it. Then I came across a stall, and I've seen this guy before, and he sells a lot of video games in trays, proper retail. Well, he doesn't sell them at retail prices. He's obviously trading them, and I'm fine with that. And he's trying to get rid of his dross or his excess. I don't know. Or maybe that's all he's got. And he's like, tells you the same story every time I go around. It's 3 times in the last 3 months. Oh God, I needed that. He's just clearing out his old back stock because his collection's too big and he's trying to downsize. That's fine. But he does have new stock every time you go around. Anyway, these are what I bought off him first time round. Yeah, I got 5 games for £7. So this lot were in the £1 a game box, which you weren't willing to compromise on. I asked him, and he says, oh no, £1 is my minimum. I will negotiate on the others because they're priced individually. And that's fair enough, I suppose. So what did I get? I got Wallace and Gromit. It says £2, but it was in the £1 box. Actually, no, I tell a lie. He said he'd compromise on the cheaper one, on the priced up ones. So these are in the £1 box, and those were 2 that he compromised, I think. So these were Lego Star Wars 2, the original trilogy. I have put this in my own spare box because the box was ripped, and the cover, you won't see it, but there's a little crease in the cover there where he'd folded it so that he could tape up the box. It's like, use a DVD case. Bloody hell, it's easy enough. Anyway, I put it in my nice new cleanish box, and so that was £1. Episode 3, The Revenge of the Sith, which it's quite a good game on the PS2 actually, and that's all in good nick. The discs themselves are in, that one's got a bit of Ring of Death, laser burn, but I'll fix that. But it does play. No, don't. No, these are in my latest test actually. I haven't tested these. And that one's quite scratched up as well. In one spot particularly where they've tried to clean it and made it worse. But I've got the technology to clean those and sort them out. And then this one, PlayStation 2 Getting Up. It's Mark Echo's Getting Up. Contents Under Pressure. Another one that's pretty scratchy. But I should be able to get that working. If I can get that working, that's a £14, £15 game. It's in a nice case, so it should sell for that. They were £1 each. Then there was this one, Wallace and Gromit, Case of the Were Rabbit. Yeah, £2. Well, there's no manual in that. So I said to him, there's no manual in this. Is that £1? You're like, okay, yeah, fine. And then this one, it wouldn't come down on. £2 for PS3, Red Dead Redemption Undead Nightmare. I've actually got this in my collection. Played it for a bit. It's quite fun. It's Red Dead Redemption with zombies. What's not to like? It's an easy sell, that. I'm not sure what it is. We'll give it a quick scan. So, new other $11.99. That's near mint, of course. From Classic Gamer by the look of it. $6.99 with postage. $7.83. $5.99 with $2.70 postage. £8.69. So yeah, nice. And the disc on this, it's a Blu-ray. It's fine. Nice and hard Blu-rays. Shouldn't be a problem at all. That was £7 for those 5. I'll get it all back on that Mark Echoes if I can get it running, or on this one if I can't. Most of those, certainly the Lego Star Wars, they're easy to sell. That was 7. And then I got 2 lava lamps, which I will actually get out of my chair for, because they're over there warming up, just so I can show you them work. Because the last week I bought one and it didn't work. There we go. Sort of purplish blue with red wax, and clear with blue wax with a white and gold base and top. £2 each. Different stalls, but a good set price. I think they both wanted £3 and I offered them 2 on both of them. You've got to get them warming up and working before you take the photographs. They look so much better with the actual wax going up. Easy sales once people can see what they're actually doing. Next was 2 Marvel figures. I come to a stall, kids selling their figures off and stuff. There we go. Thor, Thanos. I'm not up with these things. Thanos and the Hulk in armour. Avengers armour. There you go. And they were £1 each. Yeah, very nice. And they don't move much. That's about it. That to that, and that to that. You know? The body doesn't swivel, does it? No, the head moves about. So there's not a lot of movement in these. They're not exactly action figures. They're just figures. Like the old action figures, when I was a kid, you could pose them in different poses. These just stand there. They might move one arm out. It's not much cop, is it? Anyway, they should sell for £8 to £9 each, I think. Next, Power Devil hand sander. There you go. It didn't look like this. It was the box was all collapsed. I've sorted it out, put it in its case. Doesn't have this bit, the little bag to catch the dust. But I suppose you could just use a plastic bag and an elastic band. It's meant to be like a vacuum. It vacuums it out. It does actually. I tested it. When you press the hand sander switch, it vacuums out the back. There you go. And that was £2. Then there was a set of punches, mini craft paper punches. And I looked at it and I'm like, do you know there's one missing? And she says, oh yeah, I know, yeah. So I said, how much is it? And she's like, £3. No, give you £1. And she's like, okay, yeah, I'll buy it. I'll sell you it for £1. There's no real margin in it for me, really. I just bought it because it was cheap. Shouldn't have done, really. Next was, God, this is heavy. One of these, Blaupunkt in-boot car CD changer from the time when you needed a thing this size to have 10 gigabytes worth of storage. I don't even know whether there's 10 or 6 in this, because you can open it like that, but unless it's plugged in properly, you can't open the trays. There's a multi-tray there, and I couldn't tell you how many CDs are in it. It could be 4, 6 or 10. This is an A04 Blaupunkt CD multi-changer. They were designed for many different cars. There's a mounting kit, I don't know what that car that's for, and it has been used, you can tell, because the mounting kit's holes have all been used. And there's a couple of unused metal plates to sellotape it with double-sided sticky tape tabs to the metal floor of your boot. But what I saw when I started looking at it were these cables, 15-pin Kenwood style DIN, and another 15-pin Kenwood style DIN to the header unit that goes in the dashboard. So they're both like 3 meters or so. Quite useful, these. And I said to her, look, I'm only interested in the cables, because she said to me it's £15. How to break it to her, really. I said, how long has it been out of the car, and do you know what car it's come from? No. I'm like, okay then. I said, the vast majority of the time I'm going to be selling that spares a repair. I didn't make any bones about it. I didn't pretend I was going to buy it to put in my own car. No. I said to her, look, the vast majority of the time I'm going to be selling that spares a repair. I said, really? It's only the cables. I'll try to sell them both together, but I won't get a lot. How about a £5? And she said, well, at least you're honest. So she sold me it for a £5. It's got a manual, it tells you how to connect it, but obviously without the power onto it, and it's a bus/NF connector, that's what it says there, then I won't be able to open the tray and tell you whether there's either any CDs in it, whether it plays them, how it goes in and out the tray, and it doesn't tell you what it's for. So I'm assuming it's just for a standard Blaupunkt audio front end that's installed in cars. What cars, don't know. I looked on eBay, some of them seem to be for Mercedes, but I don't know. Blaupunkt used to be a really good brand name, but it seems like it's been taken over and used for selling, well, low-end electronics these days. So maybe that's devalued it a bit, I don't know. But yeah, I don't think I'll get a fortune for it, quite honestly. I'm most likely to sell it as original cables from Blaupunkt. Just the cables on their own, and then the units on its own. Don't know what I'll get, but I thought I'd take a punt at a £5. It's, you know, you can't really go wrong for a £5 in electronics, really. I'd wandered around twice. I didn't really want to spend all morning walking about on my bad leg. So I went back to the video game. I bought a couple more video games by looking through them carefully and deciding on what to buy. So I paid a little bit less than what he asked for on these. This one was up for a £5 and I paid £4. This one's Remember Me for PS3. It's got its little leaflet. They call that a leaflet, not a manual, and a disc, obviously. It's really good nick, being a Blu-ray. There we go, there you are. So that's a £14-15 game, maybe only 13, but it only cost me £4. And Dragon Ball Xenoverse. Anyway, that's in good nick. There you go. And the actual disc is really nice. I think this is what qualifies it to go into the not a pound section. So that wasn't a £1, it was £2. Yeah, not bad at all. I'll probably flash up what these are selling for. I'll put them there like that, and the average sales price will be up at the top there. That wasn't bad at all. There was something else, but it's just a sign. It's just like a long sign that says, don't worry, be happy. I'm counting that as equipment. It reminds me not to worry about things of the business. Is that a good enough excuse, do you think, for the tax? I don't know. I might have to put it up in my office in order to claim it as office equipment. I might flash a picture up, actually. I might take a photo later. Right, that's the end. 73% of you aren't subscribers. If you're enjoying yourself, why not? It's free. Yeah, I was intending to get to 1,000 this year. So, because let's face it, you've watched 2 now. You might as well subscribe. Be happy, enjoy the week, and I will speak to you sooner rather than later.